So in today's video, we are going to be discussing Tyreek Hill being traded to the Miami Dolphins. Now, before we get into the video, please like and subscribe, and let's just jump right into the video. Now, if I'm being honest, I never thought Tyreek Hill would ever be in another uniform other than a Kansas City Chief uniform. I'll be 100% honest. It never crossed my mind once that Tyreek Hill would end up being traded to another team. It never crossed my mind once this offseason, even through all the moves that they were making. It really never seemed like Tyreek Hill was going to be on another team other than the Chiefs next year. And when it first went down, even for the first day, it still kind of didn't feel like a reality that Tyreek Hill was gone, because the Chiefs and Tyreek Hill, they were actively working on a contract extension. It was reported that they were close on a deal, but Tyreek Hill's agent kind of refuted that and said that they really weren't close on a deal. So with that part, I don't particularly know, but all I knew is that they were working on a contract extension. And then there was that massive report that came out that Tyreek Hill was allowed to seek a trade. And then, behold, just a few minutes, it felt like a few minutes after that, Tyreek Hill was traded to the Miami Dolphins. Now, I'm not going to blame Tyreek Hill for wanting to get paid. Like, Tyreek Hill got paid a lot of. Now, if we look at the trade details, the Dolphins get Tyreek Hill, and then when they did get him, they signed him to a 4-year, $120 million contract with $72 million guaranteed, making him the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. And I believe, if I saw stuff correctly, he's the highest paid non-quarterback in the entire NFL. He's making roughly $30 million a year. And again, Tyreek Hill, he's earned every single penny of that. I'm not going to fault him for that. At the end of the day, the NFL is a business. Tyreek Hill has earned every single penny of that contract that he got. And in return, the Chiefs, they get 5 draft picks. I said in the video originally talking about Tyreek Hill seeking a trade, I said the Chiefs need to get a lot in return for Tyreek Hill once he is traded to make it worth the Chiefs and everything that they're giving up. They're giving a lot in Tyreek Hill. His talent is irreplaceable. So when I made that video, I was like, the Chiefs better get a lot in return. And the Chiefs got quite a bit in return. Personally, I'm extremely happy with the return that the Chiefs got. The Chiefs get 5 total draft picks. They get the 2022 first round pick from the Dolphins. That would be pick number 29. They get the 2022 second round pick, number 50. They get the 2022 fourth round pick from the Miami Dolphins, and then they also get a 4th and a 6th round pick in the 2023 draft. And that's all from the Miami Dolphins when they traded Tyreek Hill. And from a Chiefs standpoint, the way that things were structured, the way their salary cap, I really do think that there's ways around the salary cap, but this time it really handcuffed the Chiefs. They couldn't afford Tyreek Hill. So now they're on, and they're going to have to start building up this team, rebuilding the team at specific positions. And it's really hard for the Chiefs to build in other positions knowing that they have to pay Tyreek Hill that much. So for the best interest of both the Chiefs and Tyreek Hill, the Chiefs, they're not going to have that hard hit salary that Tyreek Hill wanted, and then Tyreek Hill is also allowed to get paid. And it's also better to move off now and get that out of the way now, so that way they can start building for the future now, and instead of waiting for another year, which they would have ended up doing. And obviously with the trade, because if they would have just let him hit free agency, the Chiefs would have never got this draft capital back from the Miami Dolphins. So from that standpoint, I think the Chiefs, they probably weren't going to be able to keep Tyreek Hill next year for the money that he was asking, because he got $30 million a year. So again, it's better to trade him, get the draft capital to help them build. Now, obviously, and another factor in this trade was Davante Adams being traded to the Raiders. When Davante Adams got paid by the Raiders, Tyreek Hill wanted to be compensated as the highest paid quarterback, and that kind of hindered this entire process again, because we knew that Tyreek Hill and the Chiefs, they were working on a contract extension, but then Davante Adams gets traded, and then a little less than a week later, Tyreek Hill is wanting to be the highest paid wide receiver, and then he gets traded. So the Davante Adams trade to the Raiders, and then him getting his massive extension, kind of put a handcuff on the Chiefs, because they weren't going to be able to afford that. And then once you see that market-breaking deal by Davante Adams, there's really no way that the Chiefs would have been able to pay Tyreek Hill that money. And my initial thought also is, I saw what the Packers got in return whenever they traded Davante Adams to the Raiders, and I didn't think they got enough, because the Packers got a 2022 first and second round pick, and I'm like, that is nothing at all. That felt like a low ball trade. It just felt like nobody really in that, the only person that people that won in that trade were the Raiders. And I really didn't think that the Chiefs got enough in return for that trade. So again, when I originally made the first video, I'm like, okay, I want the Chiefs to get enough in return for Tyreek Hill to make this trade worthwhile. And again, they got a huge return for him. And again, I'm happy with the return that they got. But when it comes to the on-field part of it, excluding the business side of it, the Chiefs just lost their most productive receiver, their number one receiver, arguably one of the top 3 receivers, top 4 receivers in the entire NFL. So when it comes to the offense, they are going to be in a tough situation without Tyreek Hill, no doubt about it. I've been very optimistic throughout this entire thing. I don't think there's really as much to worry about as people think. Now, obviously, you're losing the massive amount of speed that Tyreek Hill brings to the field. You're losing the deep threat. You're losing the connection that Patrick Mahomes and him have. He had 43 touchdowns since 2018, since Mahomes became the starting quarterback. Last year, his production was off the charts, he had 111 receptions, a career high. He's constantly a 1,000-yard receiver. Back in 2019, it wasn't a 1,000-yard season, but he didn't play the whole year. And then last year, you saw the Chiefs' struggles. They really weren't able to hit that home run ball as much as they really wanted to because of the way defense played. And I really thought Tyreek Hill elevated his game and became a more versatile part of the Chiefs' offense. And he expanded his arsenal massively. He became much more than just a deep threat. He became a guy you can rely on over the middle. He was doing a whole bunch of things that Tyreek Hill really wasn't doing most of his career. He was really just known for the big play guy. And I really do think Tyreek Hill expanded his arsenal. So losing Tyreek Hill on this offense it's a huge loss. Like, I'm not going to downplay that. I don't think any rational sports fan would think that this is a good loss for the Chiefs. I really don't think anybody thinks this is a good loss. But again, I think there's a lot of upside and potential for this Chiefs team now that they were able to move off of Tyreek Hill and now that they have all this draft capital. So let's look at the Chiefs' future now. So just this offseason, the Chiefs have signed Juju Smith-Schuster, and another story that came out was the Chiefs signing Marquez Valdes-Scantling. So when it comes to wide receiver, at least for the 2 guys that they signed, I think they got a very good deal on the 2 guys that they signed. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he signed a 3-year, $30 million contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, some people think they overpaid, and that might be true, but MVS, he brings a lot of speed to the football field, and in Andy Reid's offense, I think MVS is going to be that guy that Andy Reid relies on to be the home run hitter. Like, he did that a whole bunch in Green Bay. So I think that's the guy that Andy Reid is going to rely on here in Kansas City to make those big plays, those big massive plays, and continue to have that deep threat constantly on every single play. And they might try to plug in MVS in that place of Tyreek Hill so they can still have those big plays. And then you look at the draft side of this. As I mentioned, they got 5 picks from the Dolphins, and now they own 3 picks in the top 50 selections of this draft. They also own their own 29th and 30th pick, and now they own 3 draft picks in the top 50, including the 29th and 30th pick. So with those picks, you have a whole bunch of things that the Chiefs can do. You know, knowing Brett Veach, he might go aggressive. You've seen what he did with the offensive line. He was able to revamp that entire offensive line in one offseason. So that's a huge potential for Brett Veach to go big, use all the draft capital that he just got from the Miami Dolphins. He might move up and he might take a receiver. But there's also another thing, because the Chiefs offense right now is currently Juju Smith-Schuster, MVS, Travis Kelce, and Mecole Hardman. You get Jody Fortson back whenever next season. Hopefully he's healthy, he's ready to go. You have Josh Gordon. And so hopefully with those guys there, the offense will be able to unlock. Because I don't think the Chiefs are in necessarily a bad situation like, say, the Green Bay Packers. I think the Packers are much worse off right now than what the Chiefs are, even after losing Tyreek Hill, because you still have Travis Kelce. As much of a tight end as he is, he's still a number 1 receiving threat every single play. You have the attributes of Juju Smith-Schuster. He's a deep threat. He's a yards after catch guy. He can catch 50-50 balls. He's an over-the-middle guy. There's a whole bunch of things in Juju's arsenal. And then you have Mecole Hardman, who every single year has gotten better. Last year, he was almost a 700-yard receiver. And now that Tyreek Hill is gone, he's going to have to take that next step, because of the way I think the Chiefs might need to take this draft now that they have 3 options at wide receiver, and they also still have their number 1 tight end, and they still have Patrick Mahomes as quarterback, and the offensive line is fixed. I think now this gives Brett Veach a little bit of breathing room to go big in the draft at defense. I really do think that these moves here they still need a wide receiver one. Like there's still no downplaying that. The Chiefs, the way this offense is, they still need a number one wide receiver. But I still think there's bigger holes on this offense that need to be filled. And you know Andy Reid, you know his offense. He's going to open up all these guys. Juju, MVS, Travis Kelce, McCole Hardman, all those guys are going to work really well together. You know they're going to work hard in the offseason to make that trio work. Those four guys work. It's not just a trio, it's those four guys. He's going to get all of them to work. So you know offensively, Andy Reid's already writing up plays. Do I think the playbook's going to change very much? No, I don't think the playbook's going to change very much. It's going to be adjusted. It's going to be tweaked to fit these guys' strong suits, but it's not going to be a dramatic blow up of the playbook. Oh, we don't have Tyreek Hill, blow it up. No, you still have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They know the playbook, obviously. They're going to get it work with, and you know Hardman knows the playbook. He's been there for 3 years now. So you have guys on this offense that they know the playbook. They know Reid's offense. Now they just got to plug in MVS and Juju. Hopefully get them knowing the offense. And I don't think the offense is as bad as it seems. I don't think there's any reason whatsoever to overreact. I think now, though, again, this gives Brett Veach a lot of cushion where he can go big on defensive plays. That's when the draft capital comes into play. Now, would I love for him to still have one of those first round picks? Yes. Could he bundle those 2 first round picks, the 29th and 30th overall pick, and move up huge into the draft? That's a big possibility. Would I do that? No. But Tyreek Hill, when they drafted him back in 2016, he was a 5th rounder. And so, you know, the Chiefs, even though John Dorsey is the one who drafted him, you know the Chiefs can find talent late in rounds. Travis Kelce was in the 3rd round. You know, these guys that are big on the Chiefs team, even now, the ones that Brett Veach drafted, Willie Gay, Nick Bolton, L'Jarius Sneed, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, all those guys, none of those guys were drafted. You know, none of those were in the 1st round. The only 1st round pick that Brett Veach really is known for is Clyde, and he's the only one of his main draft pick that that isn't necessarily a good one. Now, he's had a lot of bad picks, but you look at, the big picks that he's made, that have worked out, it's worked out nicely. The decent defense are in a very solid spot because of what Brett Veach has done. But now it also allows him to go big on the defensive line. So whether it's bundling those picks, moving up in the draft, and he may not even have to use the 29th and 30th pick. He also has the pick at number 50 where he can bundle maybe the 30th and 50th pick, move up into the top 15, get a player, then keep the 29th pick, still get a wide receiver. With the draft capital that the Chiefs got from Miami, they're loaded with draft picks. They have, I think, the most draft picks of any team in this draft this year, all because of this one trade. So I think they're in a fairly good spot. I don't think the offense is obviously going to take a step back. And in that division, which is just absolutely insane, you look at all the moves the Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers have done. They're not messing around. You could argue that the Chiefs aren't the favorites right now. But again, you still have to remember who they have on the team, and they didn't lose. They lost Tyreek Hill, but they still have Patrick Mahomes is quarterback, Andy Reid is head coach, still have Travis Kelce at tight end for at least, I'd say, 2 or 3 more years. So with this whole situation, I don't think there's necessarily much that need to be freaked out about. Now, do we need to be weary of everything that the other teams and the conference are doing? Yes, the AFC is absolutely loaded right now. But again, this trade that the Chiefs, either if it was this year or next year, they probably wouldn't have been able to afford either way. They were able to move off of Tyreek Hill now. They can expand into the future and start building for the future. And I think, honestly, the Chiefs, for who they lost in Tyreek Hill, who you can never replace, are in a fairly good spot now to build and be a top team heading into next season.